Sup, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a story time and I'm going to be talking about like what was the corporate response and reaction to my fashion YouTube channel, like when I was doing it really full time and also working full time. So what was interesting is that the place that I was working, like they didn't care, like no one cared. It didn't interfere with my job at all. They didn't really care what I did with my time on the weekend. And everything that I did on my channel was totally up and professional. Like regardless of how like silly or girly or pointless you may think fashion is, which it's none of those things solely, to be honest, but that's another topic for another video, maybe. There was never anything where it was like unprofessional. Like it was just like a talk show basically. And so there was never any issue that way, and it didn't really interfere with any of, anything with the job, with the clients, with anything like that. And then I actually went on a job interview, and it was a little bit more of like a stuffy firm, I would say, compared to where I was working. And one of the people who was going to interview me, here's what's interesting. This was the woman who was going to interview me. So take that what you will. But, she had come at me and was like, I had seen your YouTube channel and like, it wasn't really appropriate. And I was like, I think that she thought that she was going to intimidate me into thinking like, oh, like, shoot, was there something? Like, did I swear? Was there something on it? And I knew that there wasn't, because I was always working in corporate and I was upholding myself to like really strict, like I said, regardless of if you think fashion is cute, girly, fun, stupid, insignificant, like there was nothing like inappropriate or offensive to find in the videos. And so I knew that she was just trying to intimidate me. So I'm like, okay, first of all, why am I even on? If you found this and you didn't like it and you knew you were going to just come at me in a totally nonsensical way about my channel, why did you even call me here on an interview just to do this? So I found that like really foul, because it's like, if this was such a deal breaker, or you thought you found something, why would you even waste everybody's collective time? Like, you wasted my time, you wasted your time, you wasted your other staff's time that spent time. When I came on the interview, it wasn't like she was the only person who interviewed me. And I just thought that that was really bizarre that this person came at me in such a way, like as if I didn't know the content of my own channel. I'm like, listen here, sis, there's like 38 subscribers here and love each and every one of them to bits. But like, there's not like some VA working on my behalf. There's not somebody else like putting things out into the atmosphere and into the internet with my name on it and on my channel that I don't know about. So check yourself, because I'm fully aware of all of the content that is on here. And like I've said now for the third time, regardless of what you think about fashion, there was just no way to like weave that narrative that she was trying to weave and make it seem like it was correct. Like there was just no instance where there was anything inappropriate to be found. And you know what? Challenge, if you really want to come at me from that kind of a place, you want to come at my channel from that place, sure. Watch every video. Give me the view time. Go right ahead. I would love it. The algo would love it, and I would, thank you for it. So yeah, and I just found it so interesting because like it was accepted at my job. Like I was pretty out in the open about it. I was pretty young. I think that most people were like, of course she's going to have other interests and want to be pursuing this thing jointly that like had more to do with her actual degree and actual interests and things like that. So nobody was surprised, and nobody for 1 second doubted that I conducted myself professionally on the channel. And I just thought, though, there was such a disconnect between like accepting it and then like actually harnessing the power and the ability of somebody on staff who like knew how to do video, knew how to write scripts. Like this was, again, way before the advent of like webinars and videos being like really commonplace in corporate. So we could have really been ahead of the curve. But there was just this inability to recognize that there was a gift there that we should have been, like I said, we should have been way ahead of the curve in terms of figuring out a way to incorporate video into the strategy. And I thought that it was really bizarre that it was like so untapped, uncapitalized, because I think about like other things that people might do. Like, for example, if you're like a coach and so you coach basketball, softball, whatever, in your free time, like I think that people who you work with who then know that about you, they're going to maybe not expect, but they're going to probably see like some of the stuff that you do, like some of the leadership you bring in the coaching realm is going to just spill over, because we're not that good at compartmentalizing, like no matter what we think. And so like some of those positive traits are going to inevitably spill over into like your workplace persona. And so I just thought that that was really interesting, that there was like this untapped potential there to be able to incorporate video into the strategy long before it was mainstream, long before our competitors. And then I worked at another place where it was just completely like not talked about. Like they just, I knew that video was like never in the strategy for that company either, but it was just never even like talked about or evaluated or assessed or like, oh, let's like look into figuring this out. And there were so many things that we did look into figuring out at that job. There were a lot of things that collectively, me and my coworkers did spend time researching in terms of like tools, software, like whatever it might be, to just bring into the fold that would enhance our business or, you know, whatever, improve it in some way, shape, or form. And so we were doing it on like the other front, but there wasn't a, like, we just weren't doing it with respect to video. And then when I interviewed actually for my last corporate job before I ended up like dropping out and starting my own business, when I interviewed for that firm, they were actually quite interested in the video background, the YouTube background, because again, there was a little bit younger leadership. So I think that there was more of a generational recognition there that like video is like the way of the future. Like this is one of the ways to get people's attention in the marketing space. And so they were actually really interested in that. And then it ended up being the job that I was at when COVID hit and when we locked down and everybody basically pivoted to virtual everything. They pivoted to Zoom. They pivoted to like doing webinars. And, you know, it's a much different beast doing like a live event than doing a virtual event. And I think that there was a lot of, do you like how I just blanked out there? I think that there was a lot of value there in terms of like me having all of this familiarity with video and background in video when it came time to pivot to doing webinars and actually having like a company YouTube channel. And even though we did very minimal on it, it still was something, and it was like a little bit more of an increase. And I actually have, let me see where I'm at on time. I have like another like sort of like pseudo business related topic that I want to cover, but I think I'm going to make it a different video because it's not totally correlated to this one. But yeah, I just like wanted to share because I had been thinking back. I also feel that there's like 10-year cycles coming to an end currently. And so I have been thinking back basically about the time I spent in like all of the different roles. I'm also a very analytical person. So I'm always like, is there more of like a lesson here, or can I like draw parallels or whatever it may be? And so I had just been kind of thinking about that, and I was like thinking through like a lot of the surprising aspects, a lot of the things about either the acceptance of the YouTube channel or like the critique that of something that wasn't even there, like just finding something negative for the sake of trying to intimidate somebody who came with honest good intentions to come to interview to work for you. Oh my gosh, sending you love, because that's like, yikes, that's like really hateful and low. But anyway, and then like working at firms where it was like totally ignored, or then where it was embraced and actually able to be like utilized and brought into the corporate culture. And I was really pleased and happy to be a part of that, because it is something that I love. It is something that I'm familiar with. It is something that every company probably does need in some way, shape, or form nowadays. And so just being able to like be at the forefront of a firm bringing that in, I just really credit with like all of my diligent work on like YouTube in, you know, being determined to continue to like use my video editing and broadcast journalism and on-air skills, like continuing to keep those sharp, even if there wasn't a place for that skill in a particular job description. I was still just like, you know what, whatever. I enjoy this. I'm going to do this. And if it pays off, great. If it doesn't, it pays off to me, because I know that I at least followed through on something that I enjoyed doing, and I did it for me. And not from a selfish place. Like, it's not like this isn't for you guys too. Like I do these videos because I enjoy sharing this stuff and I enjoy talking, and I speak to those who can hear me. Like, I'm not here to bring people in who aren't my people. I speak to my people. And if this is resonating with you, you've obviously like made it this far. And if not, that's okay too, because I'm not trying to appeal to all 8 billion people on the earth. That would be really exhausting. And, but yeah, I just thought that this was like something that I thought, wow, there was a lot here, like in terms of just the corporate different mentalities that were had about this channel. And like I said, I really owe a lot to it, and I'm very pleased with how far I've come and what I've done and the amount of like energy and dedication that I have put toward it. And I also think about that saying about like it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. And so even if nothing else, like, and I guess this is a moral for anybody watching of like stuff that you guys pursue, is like anything, if you get nothing else out of it, you at least are putting forth that, like, you're working toward that 10,000 hours that are needed to become an expert in that. So yeah, like I said, I have another like businessy related topic that I want to do, but this actually, I ended up having more to say about this topic because there were all of the different chapters of my story. And so yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I don't know if this was ever anything that you thought about, like, you know, people who do YouTube on the side or do other like pretty public side hustles, where it'd be pretty much impossible for your day job or your corporate job to not be aware that you're doing it. And you might even be required to like report, like if you get income from somewhere else too, because that's in some firms that's the case. But yeah, I think that that's something that people maybe wonder about. And yeah, I just wanted to address it because, like I said, I had been conducting some analysis anyway for myself, and maybe it could be fruitful for you guys too. So thanks again for hanging out, and see you in the next one.